Girlfriend's ex-coworkers contacted me to say she cheated on me 3 years ago. Girlfriend and I have been seeing each other for 6 years, we're mid to late 20s now, looking at buying a house together, and kids etc. When we met she was shy and had no real friend group, and it's mostly just been me and her since we first met. She never goes out with friends, and neither do I, we've always been happy with each other's company. I was her first boyfriend, also first guy to take her to bed, and it's been smooth sailing since day one. She worked in a high-end fashion shop 3 years ago for about 6 months, and in this time, they were brought to a fashion show in Italy. When she came back she left the job only a few weeks later. I never had any doubts or worries that she would do anything wrong on her trip. Her old coworker, who is a guy, contacted me randomly last week and basically said that my GF and her boss, literally a basic old man, very fat, bald, 5'6", missed the fashion show, and when they all met for dinner afterwards my GF and her boss didn't really have an excuse and they left the dinner early. He said they both had rooms on the same floor of the hotel even though the other workers all stayed on a different floor. When my GF left her job her boss had a meeting with all the staff where he told them that he had to fire her because of her refusal to do what he told her and their constant arguing. The coworker said he had never once witnessed them argue and she always did what the boss wanted like everyone else. The coworker in question isn't interested in girls, so I knew it wasn't a jealousy thing. I still didn't really believe him and kinda brushed him off with a blunt reply, but this morning a female coworker of hers who used to pick her up and drop her off after work messaged me to tell me that everything the first guy said was the truth and they felt they had to let me know when they saw my GF's posts about us looking to buy a house together. I haven't said a word to her yet because everything has been perfect for us up until this and I'm in a state of shock. Is there any other reasonable conclusion apart from my early 20s GF cheating on me with a fat loser in his 60s? I'm trying to build up the courage to confront her, and I want to be sure before I make such an accusation. Update: haven't talked to her about it yet because of my shifts and her shifts. I haven't had the time to get into it, but I met a good friend of mine, he's close with her family and that's how I met her, and told him about the situation. He was obviously shocked but instantly jumped to cheating also. He told me that there was something that didn't sit right with him that happened with her a year ago as well, but it was so out of character for her, and he knew her so well he convinced himself it was nothing. He said that at a family event that I wasn't present at she got very drunk very early in the evening and left the bar. He said she returned an hour and a half later in a cab and said she had to run home. He said he didn't question it any further, but when he saw me come pick her up when the party was over he wondered why I hadn't just dropped her back off earlier on. I was at home this whole night on the couch waiting to come pick her up and she definitely didn't shoot home for something. I didn't go because I felt she needed some time to socialize without me always being with her. My friend hinted at the fact he thought she might have left to get drugs, but for one it wasn't that type of event. The girlfriend I know would never ever dream of taking drugs, never mind wandering away on her own in a cab in front of everyone to go and get said drugs to return to the same party to take them, and plus we both pool our money and we don't have that kind of cash, and I would have noticed her taking money at the time because I know her buying a new dress and spending money to go to this party was already a financial strain at the time. Also, since my last message and all of the replies I have done some more digging and realized that in her search history it was, no joke, adult videos with older guys. She searched it for different times in the space of a week and at the same time searched for anal plugs, and it says there was a confirmed order. I have never in my life heard her mention toys or the fact she watched any form of porn. I know everyone is gonna say oh, but none of this is proof of cheating, but at this point I feel like I just hadn't been looking past the fact that everything was perfect without being a little bit more critical of certain things at certain times in our relationship. I think I might have been too enamored these last 6 years, but it feels like it was always in front of me, but I just never would have thought to look for it. I'll be having a chat with her tonight, but honestly as I said she tells me everything, so why not tell me she's got kinks, or why not tell me she had to leave the party and go back? We're together 6 years. If she had to leave because she had diarrhea or something embarrassing, she would tell me. I can't see why I don't know this. I'm afraid to talk to anybody else about it in case they tell me another story. I think this is it for me and her regardless of cheating or whatever, because I feel like I don't know this person at all because of these last especially 2 days. Update: we had a talk and it didn't go well. She was caught out and denied everything. Massive argument, and I told her I was leaving. So we're finished. She had since been in contact with me and asked if we can try again and maybe we could have an open relationship, so I really didn't know who she was at all. Final update, lots of you still are saying it could have been SA and that it's still speculation. I was brief in my latest update because it was raw. We started the conversation with me asking her about said co-workers and asking if she's still in contact with them, and she said yes, she's still in contact with them, especially the girl who contacted me second. She asked me why and I showed her both messages and she denied everything. She never said anything about assault or trying to cover it up, but saying none of it was true at all, that she did attend the fashion show and she didn't leave the dinner early. She said they all roomed on the same floor, so she said there was absolutely no truth to what they had said to me. I knew this wasn't true because one of the co-workers had a Snapchat memory saved of the dinner and of the fashion show, as well as messages to my ex saying how strange it was that they were on a different floor from everyone. So I told her about all this and she got extremely defensive and tried to dispute the proof I had, but had no way to prove her version of events. Then when I brought up her leaving the party in a cab like our mutual friend told me, and she said she doesn't remember where she went and once again tried to say she didn't leave the party and that it was a lie. Then she told me the butt plug and the videos she was watching were something she was going to tell me about because she wanted us to try role play and bring toys in the bedroom, but these searches weren't recent, and as I said, the toy said it was delivered, but I've never seen it and it isn't with her stuff, leading me to believe it's at some guy's house. When I left, she said she understands why I left even though she didn't admit to a single thing. That's when she said she wants us to get back together under whatever circumstances, even if we have an open relationship. Since this conversation, she has posted that she is going on a trip to the UK solo. I asked the co-workers and their boss isn't going on the trip, so she isn't still having an affair with him. Maybe she has another guy, or maybe she is just traveling solo, I don't know. But I think that's the end of the story. I'm done with this whole situation and I'm still waiting for it all to hit me and see how I'll deal with the emotions, but honestly I feel like it's not real.
Confession 2. Shattered trust. My husband's betrayal on his boys' trip. I just turned 50, but I can pass for a bit younger, not that it matters. Anyway, my husband of 24 years is currently on a boys' trip to Ghana with his friends, all around the same age and status. I was anxious about what might happen, so I admit, I ghosted his phone. He's been there for 3 nights. When I called him yesterday, he didn't answer at first. When he finally did, he told me he was incredibly drunk at a club celebrating his friend's 50th birthday. He didn't turn on his camera immediately, and when he finally did, he was in just his boxers, which is very unlike him. I was visibly unsettled, and he immediately chastised me for it. He dismissed my concerns, saying, "Why would you even think that? I'm here with other dads who are also 50. It's only been 3 nights, blah blah blah." I ended up apologizing. Later, I checked my phone and saw messages from one of the guys he's sharing an apartment with, the birthday boy. The messages said, "Yep, she will bring 2 friends. They're on their way." Considering there are 3 men in that apartment, it was obvious to me what had happened. When my husband later called, trying to play the loving family man, I was cold toward him. We got into an argument, but I never told him how I knew. Of course, he denied everything. I feel shattered. I fully intend to divorce him, but our finances are deeply intertwined, my parents adore him, and I can't bear to think about the impact on our children, 23-year-old son, 2 daughters aged 21 and 9. I don't know how to move forward. I hate him right now. I want him to hurt the way I'm hurting. But how? I'm shaking as I type this. Please, I need advice.
Confession 3. Pregnant GF just cheated. 12-week-long GF was late. Walked in on another man in her bed this morning. I just walked out. I can't tell you what I'm feeling, but it's not good. IDK if it's even my kid now. I feel empty. Update. I felt better after I posted the first post because of the support and advice I was given. Thank you all. I'm not sure why, but I'm not able to leave my bed ATM. Just very down. She's threatened me with moving away, said she was worried I'd hurt her, and basically had been using the kid's name we choose and saying we need to be a team and raise this kid right. I feel I can't go back after what went down. Everything has been so manipulative to get under my skin or use things she knows that I will be sad about. I've basically just left her on delivered while she kinda spammed me, but I said the same thing over and over. Only talk to me about paternity tests or pregnancy updates. I asked her straight up I will have to pay $2,500 out of my pocket for this test, and she said yeah okay, so I think I'm gonna purchase that so I have less confusion right now. I picked up my things from her place and left her key. She wasn't crying but asked me for a hug and I said no and didn't look back. She left me a note that she knew would get in my head about being together. I haven't left my bed this morning, but there's the update so far. I'm all over the place and I've done well staying sober.